How are you? Listen, I'm speaking more about forgiveness and what it does. Yes, I'm just going to just say it. And this is what I want my friends to know. Forgiveness, I spoke this morning, said that it's a choice. It's still a choice. And the reason why it's a choice is because it actually deals with you mentally and spiritually. Now, some of my friends may already know this. Some friends may be in the process of working things out, okay? The things that need to be worked out. I'm telling you, I've been on this journey, still on this journey. It's a process. Don't try to rush it. Don't even try to understand everything at once because it can become overwhelming. But what you can do is allow yourself to know it's okay to let go and to be released from them things that you cannot change. It's okay to be accountable and knowing that, listen, that the work that you're doing, you're in the right position to stay on the journey. In my own particular life, a lot of my particular paths, they tried to get me to ignore. And when I say they, the individuals, that was not a good fit in my journey at that time, but it was a good lesson. They tried to allow me to know that it was okay to be upset and to stay angry and to carry around with those things can bring injury, okay, to your spiritual path and journey. I don't know whether or not they understood the power of forgiveness at that time, but it was something that was in me, always understanding that if you forgive, you be released from the things that you don't have to carry on your journey. What I've seen the most in individuals when they carry that particular spirit to not to forgive, they have some type of grudgement against what they experience. And I'm not saying they're not right about having a feeling, because it's good to express feelings, but it's like they carry it on in a lifetime and they never get healed. They try to find individuals that they can identify with that feel the same way, talking the same talk, not knowing how to release and not knowing how to move forward. So, what I have learned, and the reason why I'm going to be talking more about the power to forgiveness, is possibly, and it could be, a life lesson in this journey. Now, nobody really want to go through what you call disappointments and things that is tough to deal with in life, including myself. I want to have a perfect, what you call, life. At least that's what I was chasing after of until I realized it ain't nothing perfect about this life. You either gonna understand what the lesson is, and then you're gonna learn the tools and how to be equipped to move forward. Now, granted, it is a choice. No one have to do anything if you don't want to move forward and if you don't want to learn any of the challenges that has been given to you in this life. I've oftentimes I had to ask myself, Lord, why am I even possibly dealing or needing to learn anything from a lesson that is negative and that don't feel so good? But then the more and more I began to surrender and I began to study more about my own conscious mindset and that subconscious mindset. And the subconscious mindset knows it basically is going to do whatever you're feeding it. So when I began to realize that the feeding of my soul is responsible for how I'm thinking and how I'm letting go and releasing, and that's what's going to, basically come up from out of me, I just began to rethink things over. And when I say rethink things over about how I want to see my life and how now I would position myself to be in the best position to move forward. Now, that came with a lot of what you call revealing to my own self, writing things down, writing those things that possibly can be triggers, being able to be accountable, okay? Retraining my thought process that was not even good. Do you hear me? What do I mean about being good? Old habits, picking up those things, that you don't need to actually have in your mindset. I literally began to do this inner work. And when I say I began to do it, God began to bring individuals in my life that either went through something in their life traumatically or the things that what was, they felt like that they had to understand, how do I get healed? So I began to basically attract those individuals that had some awful things that they went through in life and everything, and they were able to pour back into me. So, on talking about forgiveness in a safe space and then sharing those things that didn't, want to be released, because that unforgiveness spirit, it has an attachment, okay, to you, meaning that it'll hold on to you for a lifetime. And you would think that you're traveling in the earthly realm because, okay, I got a good soul, I'm good people and all of that, but you don't forgive. And forgiveness is part of the path. And some individuals journey to whereby you never know who you can help in this particular life. The one thing I will say, forgiveness does take you to be accountable and to be present. It's a beautiful thing once you see the releasing and what you got to do. Now, I'm nobody Bible school teacher or Sunday school teacher. I'm not even trying to teach forgiveness on that level. I am basically speaking about it from a real life point of view to whereby it makes no difference the things that I did not understand, I was not aware, or even the things that I was aware. Because one thing I realized about traumatic experience, trauma, those things that put a sting in your life, those things that you can't even change, even if you tried to change it and everything. Because now I'm understanding, studying about different generations, the timeline, the different things that what people went through and what made that particular energy become a certain way. Because different timelines, okay, according to when people was living, individuals had different experience that could of what you call appearing to be dictated to the unspiritual soul to say, you can be this way because of the things that you've seen, the things that may appear to be you need to live in your life like this. Well, I'm going to talk about the time that I was raised up. It was during a period of time to whereby, and these are my thoughts, because I'm still living. The generation had so much to go through that it dealt with. If you looked or had the color of my skin, we had to deal with that. Now, how do this have to do with forgiveness? Majorly. Because now, when jobs became an opportunity for women and males to get those positions, but then we used to call it blackball, or not being able to move up because an individual is determined the factor of your worth and your money and how much you will get paid and how much, financially you would be able to live, basically being dictated to. These can be traumatic experience for individuals that never got an opportunity to talk about it, to be released from it. Each generation have something appear to be that happen, okay, that can leave those footprints in life. Now, this is not the whole entire story about forgiveness, personally, of where I'm coming from. Forgiveness can be triggered in childhood. I know in some childhoods, based on, and I know in my generation, your grandparents that was just coming from out of a mentality. It stated that my iPhone had needed to cool down. So I had to do some things because I guess the sun. Thank you all for being here. It is now back going. So that was the blooper, however, that had happened just now. So if you still here and everything, I guess this conversation is really going to do some good for somebody. So I'm going to try to hold it in a position to whereby, because that sun is really a target right now as I'm talking. And if you're in the room, just let me know that you are in the room, because I'm actually in my vehicle, and this just came to me, and it just say to share with someone about this particular subject on forgiveness and talking about the different generations and how it can affect individuals. Thank you so much. But it's something that I want to talk about, and things. And thank you, because the temperature kind of shut down. So I was cut on the car so that I can get it cool. Yes, I got to explain this because I'm live, and for those who are in the particular live. But getting back to the conversation, these are conversations that some, not all individuals, don't share to talk about. It is designed to cause what you call disconnection, okay, in what you call unity and harmony. When you don't know your particular history about your generation and the traumatic effects when you're going through the healing, and when the enemy come in like a flood and do the division and do the separation, you got to understand where the root of that unforgiveness spirit came from. And when you look at your generation and when you look at your background, looking at your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your aunties and your uncles and things, and their way of living and their life, it will tell the story, okay, of any spirit that you're trying to understand, even in sickness, okay, genetic, that responsibility of health. It gives you a leadway now to know these things that happen. And it gives you some information possibly that you can work on. These are just my thoughts now. And with the information is not to be utilized now to weaponize yourself or anyone, but it's to learn a better way to navigate in this life and to be the best version of you. You can choose to be an individual that never learned the lesson and the good that it's supposed to be doing for you, or you can choose to be an individual to whereby you can bring peace, light, and love and healing. One thing, what forgiveness, what it does not want anyone to do is understand the power, okay, and the effect that it does for the soul. It will never never identify that you can have freedom in this particular life. Some individuals have been affected so much, okay, the whereabout when the forgiveness part, you should be forgiven, they hold on to it and don't even understand that wholeness, the reason why a person is hold on to it, what happened was real. We're not even going to say that it was not real because it would be a lie. Your feelings are your feelings, but not identifying the real truth. Why do the forgiving part, okay, why is it so hard to forgive? And why is unforgiveness more popular now, okay, in life in order not forgive? In other words, why do it sits in generation and generation of generation? Because just what I told you about my generation and coming up, I'm trying to protect this particular screen because I don't want it to go black again. The reason why, and these are my thoughts, the reason why when I was coming up, that slavery and the ability to rip people from their identity, and the reason why it's stuck with a generation such as mine, because my ancestors was praying that it would be a better day, and a better day did came. And a better day it is for some individuals that can see it that way. But some spirits got stuck to whereby they remember when. It's good to learn a lesson from when things happen. But we have the power now to change the atmosphere, the ability to not allow those effects to control how we navigate and how we move. When that particular mindset of spiritual, what you call maneuvering to the human soul, when some individuals found that they can affect your spirit, that's called breaking, okay, the individuals so that they can be entrapped for years and for decades, and that energy get passed down from generation to generation, and no one really getting the understanding, okay, nor the free education that's out there spiritually. And I say it spiritually because getting connected with God is free. It has nothing to do that you got to go to school to learn how to forgive. That's an energy that's within you, whereby God has gracefully given us all the compassion. But I'm not going to lie, it can be hard, it can be difficult and releasing, because how the enemy want you not to succeed. As long as hate is being produced and the spirit of unloving, that's what it's supposed to do, to destroy, okay, the spirit in the individuals that is living, like yourself and me. It don't want you to be set free at all. And the reason why I don't want you to be set free, because if it can keep you in bondage in the way that you think, and to way to hold on to things that benefit us no earthly good and no spiritual good, Now, friends, you got to remember, these are my thoughts. I'm not coming here talking about I'm a doctor or anything like that. I'm coming here understanding that spiritually we are all spirit beings having an experience in this human body. But if you can see the real understanding of those cycles and lessons which your ancestors went through, it didn't break all of them. Matter of fact, it gave them the courage to move forward and to do better. And in saying that, some individuals caught on to and to get the real understanding. And they began now to teach individuals about peace, light, and love and the power of the subconscious mind. Some individuals truly understand that particular power. It is not controlled by no one that's human. It is controlled by the Most High who woke us up, okay? Every day, long as you still living. So that's why I said it's a choice. Holy Spirit, I need you because I don't want this phone to get hot again. I'm going to drop it down some more for us away from the sun. Follow me, friends, because I felt like I had needed to get this up the video and subscribe to this particular channel as well. So the more and more I am getting an opportunity to talk about forgiveness, forgiveness can go way back in generations because there are some things that is attached to individuals, okay, that has to be dealt with. And sometimes we may look at our mothers and our fathers and individuals, okay, in a light that whereby they didn't go through no traumatic experience. Some of the things that they had to go through and everything, it affected them. And knowing how to navigate and how to move around, okay? It really did. If you really had a sit-down conversations with individuals, talking about history things and talking about the things that possibly made an effect in their life, you'll get to understand. Some individuals know that they wasn't trying to choose the life of being negative, but because of the effect, and they never got the healing that they needed, and because they didn't even know how. For one, I'm gonna say this much, and African American families, but I grew up, it wasn't African Americans. They began to change them things to where about you identifying your identity. They just said black, a Negro, period. Okay, this is some information that is true. So knowing that our identity or my identity was already played with, remember the phase that I came up in. You wasn't like that. You wasn't good enough, and your darn show wasn't good enough to go and work on a job that granted you the same income, supposedly, if they didn't try to snatch anything from you, to live just like anybody else that didn't look like you. So these play what you call effects on the mental mindset. But the minute you begin to tap into peace, light, and love, and somehow you bring God in your life, you know, salvation and all that, the renewing. But the more and more you still living in this earthly realm, you begin to understand, at least this is my thought, this is a lesson. And it seemed like it's an entrapment if you don't pull your power away from those energies. The only thing I'm saying, friend, you got the power to release and let go. You may not can change the history, of what happened, but you can start now by not only speaking into your life, but spreading peace, light, and love to the individuals that want peace, light, and love. Everybody may not want it, but if you know that that is part of your lesson, and God have given you the principles and the tools to speak and talk about the power to forgive, it moves you now in a better position to help the souls that want to be released. Once again, I'm not saying none of those things were not true that possibly happened in your life. Just like nobody can't tell me none of those things that affected my life was not true and it was not real. But what I learned to do is to release and let go. Can I still walk around with anger and be mad and be pissed off because of the things that I went through and possibly, not forgive? I absolutely can make that choice because these things was real to me and they happened. But now, when the Spirit of the Lord that I asked, because someone said, you need to just try God, try Jesus or whatever. Well, in trying Jesus, it wasn't so much about, condemning, period. It was all about healing for me. And in understanding the healing factor, because I had to go and study what the character of Jesus, because there's too much politicians in the church right now, and I got to say it that way. So the reality of life, God never asked me for money to be healed. God asked for my soul to be accountable for where I'm at right now and being okay with who I am. So in saying this, how is forgiveness wrapped up in generational cycles? They are wrapped up in the cycles and everything, and they are meant to be hitting so that you will never learn this part of lesson. If you learn the power to forgive, and if you're able to understand about peace, light, and love, you got something. You can actually now move in the space and the atmosphere that God has given you, okay, to do the work, which it does not cause, for a need to beg or to worry about how things will be provided for you. When God began to do the healing on the power to forgiveness, it speaks its own language. It doesn't walk in hiding places now to say, now I need to keep secrets. What it does, it reveals the truth to you that the weight has been weighted on you for too long. I don't care what generation you was born in. I live around individuals, okay, that don't look like me, and finally having a breaking point in their 80s to realize that they were back then, with a terrible attitude, okay, living a different life, not actually liking individuals, okay, that look like me, and had a problem with individuals of the color in their skin. Now, I don't know why that they're come by here or whatever, spilling out their heart unto me. Maybe I am attracting those individuals in my life right now because I'm more patient and I'm more forgiving, because at one time, I wasn't letting up. I wasn't trying to forgive. Because if you outright was wrong and outright nasty to me, you got called out and you probably got cussed out. That was my past at that time, okay? But now that God is teaching me about the power of my subconscious mind and telling me that the only way that you can proceed in healing and dealing with forgiveness, you first got to deal with the issue and how you see life and how you think. Once I began to understand the power of my mindset and thinking, I began to say, I won't release my power anymore like that. Friend, you are powerful. And if you know that forgiveness is something that you're terrible in, and I got to say it that way because things affected you, I constantly keep saying, because I'm not nobody Sunday school teacher, Bible school teacher, mentor, or counselor. I'm just a vessel that God is using right now. And I'm saying, Lord, whichever way you want me to go, whichever doors you got me walking in, I'm thankful to speak about it and to talk about it. How forgiveness set the soul free. How it no longer divides. How it basically does what it needs to do. Because there's so much stories in me, okay, from the generation I was born in and everything, the whereabout, it left damages on some of the souls. And them same souls that is still living. They don't even have the opportunity, some of them, would dare not even come in YouTube space and talk about it because they feel like it's not welcome. But the more and more I see this earthly realm reverting back and trying to put people in places, the whereabout, it's like, what are we doing? We done been through this. We done been through discrimination. We done been through the hate and trying to understand how we can overcome things. We done been through this. And when I say we, the people that actually experienced it, the individuals that know how it feels. Now, for some generation, if you never experienced, how you gonna tell your grandmama or granddaddy not to feel a certain way or not to think a certain way when they are getting their inner healing healed within? That was their experience. And it probably, affected their life. So just because your generation may not have never experienced it, it doesn't mean it don't exist right now, because it do. There's things that's going on right now I don't agree with. But the power that God have left all of us to knowing how to proceed in forgiveness. A lot of people look at forgiveness as if, something bad got to happen, in order to, to deal with forgiveness. it can be something, okay, that you are not even aware with, and a spirit live within you to whereby you can't forgive. When they tried to manipulate, and I say they, that energy back in the old day, back in that time, I don't know why they felt superior enough to think that they can manipulate our. And it's a good book. And I read and I read and I read this book. It's called Willie Lynch. And Willie Lynch is a book that talk about, how that mindset, how those individuals trying to entrap our souls and to enslave us. And they said it'll work another 100 years if you keep on suppressing and doing the same routine over and over. And I'm sharing this to say this much. That's the same way how I look at this power to forgive. That's why it's a subject to be talked about. If the one can be programmed to not forgive, then it'll live like that continuous and it'll go into another generation. So therefore, even myself living, okay, in my latter years and things, being somebody, grandmother, okay, mother, auntie, whatever that I am to somebody, and I am, those particular things that I stated. Whatever position that you're choosing with the mindset, because you can't completely understand everything. You don't even understand, why you think, why you function, why you asking. Dig a little bit more deeper and ask God to reveal to you your path and your course in life, okay? And to make you a better you. Thank you, friends, for listening to me. I just felt like I needed to share that at this particular time. And I just want my friends to know, keep pushing forward. Keep doing everything you need to do, because God is the only one that can heal you and that can prosper in your life and things. Now, I know some individuals saying, why this old lady? And look here, the sun. I had that camera straight up. Y'all all in my mouth, but it's okay. I had to bring it a little closer because the sun. But my real point here, besides coming in the morning and talking about, you're welcome, friend, the power of prayer and the power to forgive. A friend says, thank you, Miss Gigi. The reason why it's heavy upon me is because I know that is one of the mission that I must keep pushing through it. I'm going to keep talking about it no matter what. And I'm going to keep, helping individuals that understand that, listen, you are the only one that can do your journey and your work. Certain things, even if you tried to run from it, it'll still show up and say, I called you back. Talk more about it. I don't care if you got problems in your family. I don't care if individuals saying, how can she talk about it? I can, because I live my life in a true space and I'm open about it. I can talk about things that individuals so sensitive to whereby it'll explode if you try to get a point across, But when you know, and when you have studied for yourself and gotten the healing, gotten the tools that you use, because you sat so long, in the counseling chairs, probably the majority of your life, okay? I don't know about you, but I surround myself around those individuals, counselors, those individuals that got my, best, what you call, betterment for my life. Because sometimes, because of the healing that need to take place, you can be around individuals that's not even healed and trying to tell you something, and there's no healing. Oh, come on, Holy Ghost. I got to say it this way. My life experience from being and having so many different friends in my life, I'm now understanding that they themselves had needed healing when was unaware. I give them that. And now that I'm in a full-grown adult age, I refuse to walk around, okay, not being accountable and being okay to say it's okay to not forgive. I refuse to live this life. I don't care what the master back then tried to do to my ancestors. They no longer have that power that they put, okay, and tried to break our spirits because of the way we looked at. And that stuff got embedded. Generation of stuff. I'm not pointing the finger. I take accountability because this is my life and this is an opportunity to where about now, whatever your life have been dealt with, you can deal with it in a way to whereby it can heal people or the way that it can entrap people's souls. I choose to deal with it to whereby it does healing. Healing for one, for me, and this is real life, friend, I have to always concentrate what's in my circle. Is it gossiping, okay, instead of helping, okay? It's a difference to talk about something. But when you can't set aside and to know that God got all power and authority to heal, then you're not doing me no earthly and no spiritual good. That's why I say, God, send me those individuals that want healing, okay, and that want to see a better way of life. Healing have caused what you call people, okay, some things that they had to basically lose and let go. Because when you truly walking in healing, that's all you want. You just want the best for everybody. You don't no longer even look at those things that tried to damage you any longer as if it had any power, because it really didn't. Somebody have already trailblazed that way and made things better for you. That's why I truly don't get in to individuals who have a puffy and haughty attitude as if I'm better than you and I'm better. It's like we all come from the oneness of God. This is nothing but a life learning lesson for me and for you. We all need to try to get along to the best of our ability. And whatever we can't get along with, give yourself space and time now to know that, listen, you may not need to be in a circle. You may not even need to be around them if it's going to stop you for forgiving and everything. But that haughty spirit and being all puffed up as if, you better than somebody, who taught you that? Where did that spirit come from? Why is it so strong in your life? Why do you have to feel, and maybe, and I thank God, although my background is from, my ancestors and doing the slavery, but I tell you this, everything that I got, I'm so thankful and grateful as if I ain't got nothing. Because I know life got a way of changing and it teach you lessons. I'm so humble to the point that you wouldn't have never even understood my upbringing, okay? The breaking of those souls, the whereabout, what the masters tried to do to my ancestors, and how they could have easily carried a bitter spirit. But something dropped in me because it was somebody praying and holding the line and saying, our generation shall be better. The whereabout, the black kids and the white kids, they're going to be able to get along. They're going to be able to do school together, even when those individuals, they was against it operating. It's the same energy that rising up them haughty spirits. But they hide in spaces as if, they don't carry that energy, but in reality, they do. Where there's no peace, there's always trouble. And when there is peace, that is that divine light that is guiding us. Don't let nobody tell you it's okay to not to forgive. They lying. They setting you up. They're planting seeds in the next generation if you got children. I always taught my children to forgive and let it go. Now, whatever they decide to do in their adult life, it became their choice. But you have to forgive. You have to be able to move forward. I always gave them the principles and what they needed, not being perfect, because hell, they probably didn't even understand what their mama had to go through being on somebody fire and rescue, which is a saving and a job to where about you help people, but not knowing behind the scenes, all of this stuff was still going on, dealing with nooses, dealing with things to where about people that didn't look like me, tried to give a person a hard time just to get what they came to do and loving to help people. See, when you got a story to tell, it can't be what you call shut down. It allow you now to talk from experience. It allow you now to have what you need, the tools to move forward. Now, if you need counseling, go seek it out. Go tell somebody that you need the help that you need. It's no shame in it. It's no shame if you know that your parents, was in a position to mistreat people and they wasn't right. But if you know that you done had a conversation to where about y'all done got this thing right and together, you don't have to hold your head down. You can hold your head up because you could be the individual now, although your parents may have did that dirty work, or even it could have been you. You got the opportunity now to change things. Because see, when I see a spirit that's operating on different devices, but they hiding and throwing the rock and everything, I no longer now have to get upset. I cannot like the spirit, but I can see the energy and what is planned and everything. It's not like that now my awareness is not on. My prayer is, God, continue to give me life to whereby I can spread peace, light, and love. And I can also spread the damages and what it does and how it can affect generations, okay? That is a part of the seed. If you know that you are somebody, mother or father, if you got the grandparents that's still living and everything, there's some seed work that need to be done in order to correct the things that need to be corrected. Many won't have this conversation like this because some people feel like they better and I would never, and it ain't nothing wrong with me. But when you have a mindset like that, how can healing come in? How can things now be justified on forgiveness and things? How can you really have a real conversation? Many are paying so much money for healing, and I'm saying healing is really free. It's free if you believe it. I'm saying that mentalness of healing, the way that you think, you know, besides, you know, having individuals, even if you got a doctor that you don't went to somebody and somebody say, take this, take that for, you know, however, the way that's going to make you think properly. I'm not telling anyone to get off their medication. That is a lie. I'm just an individual. I come here talking about real life reality and stuff. The point of hating and the point of just to get in this space in YouTube and to talk about people in a negative way to whereby it don't bring forth healing. If I'm going to talk about somebody, and even if it's with their negative ways, I want to be able to let the individual know God still heal and God still deliver because God is God. That negative energy only can live unless you give your soul to it. I hope that this message can benefit someone. Thank you, friends, for coming along. I see you. I see you supporting. I see you. I appreciate you. Now take it back to the individuals. And I want to say this much. I'm so real right now. For the ones who possibly may come and do take it back and say what she talking about, this is what she said for the day. If your spirit ain't right, I bless you to change on this journey. Because we all got work to do. I'm not the only one that's still living in my latter years that can talk and speak and tell the truth. I'm just bold right now, saying it begins with me and within. I can't change everything, but I can begin with me. So friends, I want you to know, although I don't look at the numbers, but I am thankful enough to say I thank God for the handful, and that's real. Because I know one can chase 1,000 and two can do so much, and then you put more and more individuals with it. Pretty soon the message is going to travel. Pretty soon individuals going to say, you hear that lady? She over there, she always be talking about the power to forgive. She get up in the morning talking about the power of prayer because that's my stability. That's my ammunition to know I know I'm in right alignment. I ain't crazy. It ain't nothing wrong with me. What's crazy is that people are so afraid to live in the power and authority that bring peace. Do you hear me? Individuals rather live in chaos and confusion and gossip. No healing, but confusion. Completely, I shut it down. That's not the way of God. When you shut something down, do it in peace, light, and love. Shut the enemy down by having clarity. Okay? If there's anything that you need to do, and if you know that you got power to do to make peace, you do it to the best of your ability. But don't do it with old nasty attitude. I'm telling you what I know. Because sometimes, okay, whether or not we know it or not, if you not doing the inner work that God have called you to do right now, he'll get you on your last end in life, okay? He'll bring it all the way back to you and say, hey, I've been tapping, I've been knocking on you, but you want to do it your way. And I allowed you to do it your way. That's why I say forgiveness is a choice. Have your soul so open to where about no matter what you got to do to stay in peace. Because it is a choice. Do it. Do it. Don't worry about what people said. Please don't. I'm telling you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about how they may laugh at you. Don't worry about who do she think or who do he think he is. I'm just a vessel that God is saying speak. I'm just a vessel that God is saying keep telling individuals. Continue to pray. Get back into that thriving position that once gave you protection, that once did what it needed to do for you. Irregardless if you don't know everything about your past, your generation, them spirits, those things that you don't even know how to undo. Align yourself up right. Start listening to some beautiful music. Stop walking around what I'm saying with the energy to whereby it doesn't heal individual. If you speak and then you communicate in these YouTube realms and you say that you're a coach, you're a helper in healing, and I'm just saying this for the individuals because sometimes my eyes be like, oh, and they do what? You can't heal when you teaching individuals basically to not let go and to hold on to that stuff. Talking about, the past of things, what happened. People know what happened to them. That's why they hurting. But if you're going to be in the space that God have blessed all of us who choose to pick up a device and talk, especially about healing and forgiveness, be that vessel. You don't have to know scripture verbatim or none of that. This is just, I'm not even bringing scripture. I'm just talking about the humanity and real life of things because, see, the real word live within. Scripture give love, okay? It does not come to beat you down. How in the beginning I was saying how those individuals that experienced it in my generation and in my you came in a later today. Thank you for sharing when I talk about forgiveness. Most people say I forgive, but I don't forget. You can't hear me, friend? Can you hear me now? My phone. If you can hear me now, say yes or no. Thank you, too. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you, because my phone been going back. Here's the thing with that. I forgive, but I don't forget. And I'm not saying you don't have to forget anything. Some things I don't forget. But I truly forgive that soul power way. Because I can't change like my ancestors cannot change none of that stuff that happened, it happened. But I move forward. Everybody, they can't forgive. Because if they could, the world would be a better place. Friends, you know what? I'm going to just off of this line. Because my battery, I'm going to hold it down. My battery, it says orientation lock, rotate device. Can y'all hear me? I got it in this car. It's actually charging. I only got about 1%. My battery charging, friends. Oh, this particular conversation, it didn't want me to communicate and everything. It did, but my battery, I put it here. Orientation is lock, rotate device back. If y'all can hear me, let me know. Put it in the comment on leading. What it say? I like it that this car can charge though. Friends, my battery, it was going, and it locked my device. Anyway, friends, keep your notification on. We're going to finish up this conversation, okay? Yes, I apologize deeply Just here, letting the screen warm up. I meant to say, getting my charger charged. If y'all come back in, that's what I'm doing. I apologize for this heat to do what it do. Yes. I'm looking over. Yes. I don't know how much percent is on it. It won't even allow me to exit. I think I can. Once it get enough power back to it, I'm gonna exit out. Thank God, ain't nobody in the room. I don't see nobody in the chat, so. Yes. Yeah. Ooh, child. Okay, now I can exit out. I want to exit out. Storm is coming for some of us this week. It's been cold here, friend. It's been cold. All right, friends, I can finally properly exit out. I'll try to come back. Not today. Maybe today I will to finish talking. Y'all keep your phones on, but I had to give it a 1% charge. Friend, if you're in the room, I'm charging up the phone. If you can hear me, let me know. I was trying to exit out, but my phone wouldn't let me do anything. So if you can hear me, just say I can hear you right now, although it says it's locked at this time. My phone only got 1%. Can you hear me? Let me see what it's saying. If you have an iPhone, you can go to settings, battery, and it gives you the option to show the percentage left. So you can hear me. Great. Because by the phone being on this charger, thank you for telling me that too. No, I can see it's telling me 1%. But when I was in the car, I didn't have it on this Wi-Fi charger that's in the car because I was holding it up, letting you all see me and everything. Yes. So yeah, if you can hear me, that's good. That's why I'm looking down. But now it's on this Wi-Fi charger and everything just charging up. That's good to know. I just need to see what my friends are saying. I need to turn it around, I think. Get some of y'all information. Let me see what y'all saying. You can still chat if you want to. I appreciate my friends. I really do. I appreciate you all. I really do. Hopefully I can come back later on when I begin to talk about them conversations that I want to talk about, the power to forgive and of how I've been. And I say stuff because it's a bunch of stuff. You know that the dinner tables to me when I was coming up, they were made to discuss your emotions and feelings, asking how was your day, you know, how you're doing and things like that. So yeah. They do show I got 2 people in the room. Isn't that something? That is something. I am going to, as soon as I get enough coverage here, I'm peeping over with my little peek head to see. Thank you, friend, for saying about the setting. But yeah, it do allows me to know it's charging up. I appreciate you all. I think I got enough to go in the house to where but I can completely charge it. Okay, my friend talking. Yeah. You know what, friend? You know what? I'm gonna have to. Thank you for saying that. What I'm gonna do, I was just letting it charge. I'm gonna literally, I don't know whether or not I'll delete this video or not. Thank you for saying that. It goes for a few minutes where your voice is clear and then I gargle for a minute or two. Yeah. Thank you. What I am going to do, I can't make no promises whether or not I'm gonna come back today because I got different things that